News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
2 people found shot to death west of Lolo. The investigation is underway. Good morning, everyone. Montana Morning for Tuesday, January 10th, 2017. Right now, the sky is cloudy. We have some fog in the area. It is 12 degrees in Missoula. And after yesterday, my goodness, we're hoping for a much more calm day today. We do have bare and wet roads from Missoula to Stevensville right now on Highway 93 South. All other roads are snow-packed and icy at this time. We haven't received any reports today of school closures or delays after yesterday. Our newscast this morning is sponsored by Western States Cat, located on reserve with things you'll need all winter, like great deals on batteries and antifreeze. Our top story this morning, the Missoula County Sheriff's Office is reporting that 2 people were found shot to death yesterday afternoon west of Lolo. I spoke early this morning with Public Information Officer Brenda Bassett with the Sheriff's Office.
At approximately 4:30 p.m. yesterday afternoon, we had reports of shots fired at a residence behind Roper's Lounge on Highway 12 West near Lolo. We had reports of multiple victims, but when deputies arrived, there was one male that a negotiator was able to get to surrender after approximately 15 minutes.
Bassett described what deputies found when they entered the cabin.
When they were able to make entry into the residence, they found one deceased female and one deceased male, both adults. The Missoula County Sheriff's Office detectives were working late into the night and interviewing the male that was taken into custody. We'll know more, obviously, today.
No arrests have yet been made, no other details available, and no names have been released. Bassett said they'll try to provide the identities of the fatalities of those who were killed later on today. Montana Republican legislators are forming a panel of lawmakers and industry leaders to try to come up with a replacement for the Affordable Care Act here in the state. Senate Majority Leader Fred Thomas said yesterday the working group will also advise lawmakers on how to respond to any changes Congress may make to President Obama's health overhaul law. Congress is planning to roll back the Affordable Care Act, but state officials believe a full repeal won't be implemented before the year 2019. Thomas says Montana Senate leaders want to come up with a new system for those covered by the state's Medicaid expansion law and the federal exchange. He says he expects 15 to 20 people to be on the panel, comprising lawmakers and representatives from the healthcare and insurance industries. An initial meeting is scheduled for tomorrow. Temperatures were near zero last Friday when a resident at home in the 1800 block of Cooper Street called police, claiming that a man had kicked down his front door. Missoula Public Information Officer Travis Welsh picks up the story.
The officers arrived. They encountered the male resident and a female guest who claimed that Cody Palmer had been to the house, entered forcefully, and was berating the female guest when the male resident tried to intervene. Mr. Palmer grabbed the male resident and threw him to the floor before running out of the building.
The female victim said she didn't know the suspect, so the motive for the burglary is difficult to nail down. While police were talking with the victims, Palmer returned to the home and was arrested.
He was later apprehended when he returned to the residence and was taken into custody by officers. He was arrested for the offense of burglary. He made statements that suggest that he may have been associated with drugs, but there was nothing specific at the time of his arrest.
On top of a felony burglary charge, Palmer also faces a charge of obstructing a peace officer after struggling against police and refusing to identify himself. Police were able to identify Palmer from tattoos because he has a criminal record. Year over year, the number of human trafficking cases in Montana continues to climb, but thankfully the number of victims rescued is also climbing. In 2014, there were no human trafficking cases in Montana, but Attorney General Tim Fox said there was a substantial increase last year.
We just finished the tabulations for the year 2016 with respect to the number of human trafficking cases that were handled here in Montana. And the total cases went up 100% from 2015. We had 14 human trafficking cases that were open.
Although there were only 14 opened, many more victims were rescued, meaning this year's case numbers are likely to be high as well.
The good news is that we rescued last year 22 adult victims of human trafficking and 5 juvenile victims of human trafficking. and that's an 83% and 400% increase over 2015 in those two categories.
In a press release sent out with the crime statistics, Attorney General Fox added a political note, quote, "Unfortunately, it's possible that human trafficking investigations would cease if the proposed 5% budget cut on our Division of Criminal Investigation. Human trafficking investigations tend to be complex and expensive, but we can't put a price on the safety of Montana's children." Montana Republicans blasted Governor Steve Bullock's budget at a press conference in Helena yesterday. Senate Majority Leader Fred Thomas accused the governor of inflating the ending fund balance upwards of $30 million.
The question is, when did the governor know that we were in this position, and why did he keep inflating the ending fund balance and telling the state of Montana that everything's fine? Good morning in Montana. It seems to me that the answer is because he was in the middle of a campaign and wanted no one to think anything else. House
Majority Leader Ron Ailey flatly rejected Governor Bullock's proposed tax increases to enhance the budget.
We need to reject the governor's proposal for new income taxes against the good job creators of this state. We need to reject the notion of new taxes on commodities like the wine and tobacco tax, the medicine that could potentially hurt the most vulnerable populations of our state.
Appropriations Committee Chair Nancy Balance of Hamilton called for transparency and leadership in regards to the budget.
This is a time of fiscal restraint. The governor's shell game of transferring money around to fund new programs is irresponsible. Instead, we are taking a scalpel to every part of the budget to save money, and we're asking the agencies to do the same.
The budget battle lines have been clearly drawn, and it could be a long session if the two sides can't find some common ground. Our News Talk time now is 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Chance of snow later today as we warm up to right around 30 degrees, and in the evening we'll see windy weather out of Hellgate Canyon with limited visibility, turning much colder Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Matt Gray for the NBC Montana Severe Weather Alert.